Step back from the vehicle. This is my car. You're under arrest for grand theft auto. I'm the chief of internal affairs. Everyone says that. Turn around.
18 seconds from now, he'll rip legal documents in half. 8 minutes from now, his career ends. 90 days from now, the city writes a check for $1.8 million. This is the story of a cop who arrested his own boss and didn't know it until it was too late. Officer Kyle Brennan, 29 years old, 4 years on the force, 7 complaints, 0 discipline. He sees a black man loading boxes into a Mercedes. His brain makes a decision. The wrong one. Marcus Williams, 58, head of internal affairs, 22 years putting dirty cops in prison. He's about to put one more on that list. If you're watching this from California, Texas, or anywhere else, drop a comment. I need to know how far this story travels. Saturday afternoon, 2:15 p.m., Midtown Plaza parking garage, level 3. Families loading shopping bags. Kids running between cars. A normal weekend. 14 security cameras covering every angle. Marcus Williams is placing 3 boxes into the trunk of a black Mercedes. Model year 2019. The boxes contain classified internal affairs files. He's taking them back to headquarters. The registration is in his name. Has been for 4 years. He's 58 years old. Been with the department since 2001. Chief of Internal Affairs. 186 complaints investigated. 41 officers convicted. FBI Medal of Justice 2019. His job is hunting dirty cops. He's very good at it. Kyle Brennan is on patrol. Mall security unit, 29 years old, 4 years as an officer, 7 complaints in 18 months. Use of excessive force, unlawful detention, racial profiling, not one resulted in discipline. He sees Marcus from 30 feet away. Black man, expensive car, nice clothes. His brain does the math. The wrong math. He radios dispatch possible 10-851, level 3. Black Mercedes requesting backup. 10-851, vehicle theft. He approaches. Blant. Excuse me, is this your vehicle? Marcus turns. Yes, it is. Can I see your registration and license? Marcus reaches for his wallet. Slowly, hands visible. He pulls out 2 items. His driver's license and an FBI task force credential. He's a federal cooperating officer. Works cases across state lines. Brennan takes both. Looks at the FBI credential for 3 seconds. Puts it down on the hood. This is fake. Marcus doesn't raise his voice. It's not. You can call dispatch to verify. I've seen fake EIDs before. I'm the chief of internal affairs for this city's police department. My name is Marcus Williams. Call your sergeant. Brennan stares at him. Here's what he should do. Radio dispatch, verify the name, apologize. Walk away. Here's what he does instead. Step away from the vehicle. You're watching a man reject evidence because it doesn't fit what he wants to believe. The credential is real. The registration has Marcus's name printed on it. The car is legally his. But Brennan's brain made a decision 30 seconds ago, and brains don't like admitting they're wrong. A security guard approaches, former cop, 20 years on the force before he retired. His name is Dennis Shaw. Officer, I know this man. That's Chief Williams from IA. Let me call your sergeant for you. Brennan doesn't look at him. Stay back. Shaw stops. He knows what's happening. He pulls out his phone. 6 other people are watching now. 3 of them have phones out. One woman opens Facebook Live. Y'all seen this cop arresting another cop in the Midtown garage? 17 people are watching the stream. In 2 minutes, it'll be 200. Marcus stands completely still, hands at his sides, visible. He's been trained for this. He knows the statistics. Black men who move wrong don't always walk away, even when they're cops. Brennan calls for backup. Officer Kelly arrives, 26 years old, 2 years on the force. She parks her cruiser, steps out, walks over. What have we got? Possible vehicle theft. Subject claims he's internal affairs. Kelly looks at Marcus, looks at the Mercedes, looks at the credential on the hood. She picks it up. FBI Task Force Cooperating Officer, Marcus T. Williams. She turns it over, checks the hologram, the seal, the expiration date. It's real. Brennan, this credential is legitimate. Could be fake. It's not. The hologram's federal issue. I've seen these before. She hands it to Marcus. Sir, I apologize for the confusion. Marcus takes it, says nothing. Brennan steps closer. He could have stolen it. Kelly looks at him. Stolen an FBI credential. People steal badges all the time. 6 people are recording now. The Facebook live stream has 400 viewers. Comments rolling in. This is crazy. That cop is about to get sued. Somebody call his supervisor. Dennis Shaw, the security guard, is on his phone with dispatch. This is Shaw, former badge 4127. I'm at Midtown Plaza, level 3. You've got an officer detaining Chief Williams from IA. You need to send a sergeant immediately. The dispatcher pauses. Chief Williams from Internal Affairs. Affirmative. Stand by. Marcus speaks, calm, no edge. Officer Brennan, I understand you're doing your job, but I need you to verify my identity before this goes further. Call dispatch. Ask for Sergeant Davis. He'll confirm who I am. Brennan doesn't move. Sir, I need you to step away from the vehicle. This is my vehicle. I'll determine that. Marcus doesn't move. I'm asking you to verify my credentials before you make a decision you can't take back. I've made my decision. Step back. Here's what's happening inside Brennan's head. He saw a black man with an expensive car. He assumed theft. He called it in. Backup arrived. If he backs down now, he looks stupid. If he was wrong from the beginning, that means he profiled someone. And if that someone is Internal Affairs, the department that investigates cops, then he just made himself a target. So his brain chooses a different option. Double down, prove he was right, make the evidence fit the conclusion. Officer Kelly steps back. She knows what's about to happen. She's seen Brennan do this before. Push until someone pushes back, then arrest them for resisting. She wants to stop it. But Brennan's senior to her, and she's seen what happens to officers who question him. So she stands there, and she says nothing. Marcus reaches into his pocket, slowly, 2 fingers. He pulls out the vehicle registration, hands it to Brennan. This is the registration. It's in my name. The VIN matches the car. Everything is legal. Brennan takes it, looks at it. Mercedes-Benz E-Class, 2019. Registered owner Marcus T. Williams. Address matches the one on the license. He holds the paper for 5 seconds. Then he speaks. This doesn't prove anything. You could have stolen the car and the documents. Kelly closes her eyes. Shaw, the security guard, shakes his head. The woman on Facebook Live zooms in. He just said the registration doesn't prove it's his car. Y'all hearing this? 600 people you're watching now. Marcus stays calm, but his voice changes. Not louder, sharper. Officer Brennan, I am the Chief of Internal Affairs for this police department. I have been on the force for 22 years. I am currently transporting classified case files to headquarters. If you detain me without cause, you are violating my civil rights under Section 1983, and you are interfering with a federal investigation. Brennan stares at him. I don't care who you think you are. You're acting suspicious. That gives me reasonable cause. Reasonable cause for what I showed you my credentials. I showed you my registration. What more do you need? I need you to stop talking and step away from the vehicle. Dennis Shaw steps forward. Officer, I called your sergeant. He's on his way. Just wait 5 minutes. Brennan turns. Sir, step back or I'll detain you too. Shaw holds up his hands, takes 2 steps back, but he doesn't stop recording. Marcus looks at Brennan, then at Kelly, then at the 6 people with their phones out. He knows what happens next. He's investigated 80 cases like this. Officer makes bad call, doubles down, situation escalates, someone gets hurt. Usually the person who's right. He has 2 options. Option 1, comply, let Brennan arrest him, file a complaint later, sue the department, win in court. That's the safe option. Option 2, assert his rights, refuse to comply, dare Brennan to arrest a ranking officer in front of cameras. That's the dangerous option. He thinks about his son, 26 years old, just graduated from the academy, starting his career as a police officer next month. Marcus doesn't want his son to see his father arrested on video, but he also doesn't want his son to see his father submit when he's done nothing wrong. Marcus makes his choice. I'm not stepping away. This is my car. I've shown you proof. I'm leaving now. He reaches for the driver's door. Brennan grabs his arm. You're under arrest. If you were Marcus, would you comply or would you stand your ground? Comment 1 if you'd comply. Comment 2 if you'd resist. Because what happens in the next 60 seconds will cost the city $1.8 million. Brennan pulls Marcus's arm behind his back. Click. The handcuff closes around his right wrist. Click. The left wrist. Marcus doesn't resist. Doesn't pull away. Doesn't say a word. He stands there, cuffed, in a parking garage, on a Saturday afternoon. His breathing is steady. His face is neutral, but his eyes close, just for 2 seconds. On him. A family is standing 20 feet away. Mother, father, 2 kids. They were loading groceries. Now they're frozen. The 8-year-old boy tugs his mother's sleeve. Mom, why are the police arresting that man? She doesn't answer. She doesn't know how to. Marcus hears the question. He doesn't look at the child. He keeps his eyes forward. Officer Kelly stands 3 feet away. Her hand is near her radio. She should call a supervisor. She should stop this. She knows Brennan is wrong. She verified the FBI credential herself, but she says nothing. Later during the internal investigation, she'll testify, I was afraid of Officer Brennan. He has a reputation in the unit. People who question him get written up. I didn't want to be next. Her body cam records everything. The cuffs, the silence, the fear. Dennis Shaw, the 60-year-old security guard, steps forward. Officer, I just spoke with Sergeant Davis. He's 3 minutes out. He confirmed Chief Williams's identity. You need to remove those cuffs. Brennan doesn't turn around. Sir, I told you to step back. I'm trying to help you. You're making a mistake. Step back. Shaw takes 1 step closer. Officer. Brennan shoves him, both hands, hard. Shaw stumbles backward. His feet tangle. He falls. 60 years old. Former cop. 20 years on the force. He hits the concrete. His head bounces once. The sound echoes through the garage. 6 cameras catch it. Kelly's body cam. Shaw's body cam. 4 phones. Shan't. Shaw doesn't move for 3 seconds. Then he pushes himself up. Blood on his palm from the concrete. He sits there, breathing hard. Marcus watches, still cuffed, still silent. Brennan turns back to Marcus like nothing happened. The Facebook live stream now has 1,200 viewers. Comments flooding in faster than anyone can read. Did he just assault that old man? This cop is out of control. Somebody's getting sued. The woman recording zooms in on Shaw, then on Marcus, then on Brennan's face. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't need to. Marcus speaks. His voice is calm. No anger, no fear. Officer Brennan, I need to contact my attorney. Brennan pulls the vehicle registration from his pocket, the one Marcus handed him 2 minutes ago, the legal document proving ownership. He holds it in both hands. Marcus sees what's about to happen. Officer, that's legal property. Don't. Brennan rips it in half. KK here. The sound cuts through the garage. He rips it again. KK here. 4 pieces now. He drops them on the ground. Go ahead. Sue me. And 6 phones record the sound. KKKRR. Later in court, the lawyer will play that audio 17 times. Each time the jury will flinch. Marcus looks down at the torn paper, then back at Brennan. You just destroyed government property. That's a felony. Prove it. Marcus doesn't respond, but his jaw tightens, just slightly. He spent 22 years putting cops like this in prison. Now he's standing in cuffs while one destroys evidence in front of 14 cameras. The irony isn't lost on him. Officer Kelly stands frozen. She watched Brennan shove a 60-year-old man. She watched him rip legal documents. She watched him commit 2 crimes in 90 seconds, and she did nothing. Her hand hovers near her radio. Call it in. Stop this. Be the good cop. But her hand doesn't move. Later, she'll say she was afraid. But right now, in this moment, fear looks a lot like complicity. A second family stops to watch, then a third. People coming out of the elevators, carrying shopping bags, leading children by the hand. They see a black man in handcuffs. They see a white officer standing over torn paper. They see a 60-year-old man sitting on the ground bleeding. No one intervenes. Everyone records. This is America in 2023, where 12 people will watch a crime happen and film it instead of stopping it. Not because they don't care, but because they know what happens when civilians challenge cops. Jin. Marcus stands with his hands cuffed behind his back. He's not resisting, not arguing, not moving. He's doing exactly what he's trained officers to do when dealing with authority. Comply. Stay calm. Let the evidence speak. Because he knows something Brennan doesn't. Everything is being recorded. The cuffs, the shove, the torn registration, the sound, KKKR. Every second of this encounter is now permanent. And in 90 days, a jury will watch it. They'll see a 58-year-old man, chief of internal affairs, standing silent while a 29-year-old officer destroys his property. They'll hear that sound, KKKR, and they'll make Brennan pay for it. But Marcus doesn't know that yet. Right now, he's just a man in handcuffs, watching his career, his dignity, his rights, being ripped apart by someone who thought a badge was permission. Brennan keys his radio. Dispatch, I need a transport unit. Level 3 Midtown Plaza. 1 in custody. The dispatcher's voice crackles back. Copy. What's the charge? Brennan looks at Marcus. Grand theft auto, resisting, obstruction. None of it is true. All of it will be documented. And 3 months from now, every single word will be used against him in court. Marcus closes his eyes again. 2 seconds. When he opens them, his face is still neutral. But something has changed. He's not a victim anymore. He's a prosecutor. And the case just wrote itself. 3 minutes later, Sergeant Davis arrives. He's 42 years old, 16 years on the force. He parks his cruiser and walks toward the scene. He sees Marcus in handcuffs. He sees Brennan standing over torn paper. He sees Dennis Shaw sitting on the ground with blood on his hand. He keys his radio. Dispatch, I'm on scene. Stand by. He walks up to Brennan. Officer Brennan, what's the situation? Suspect was attempting to steal a vehicle. He resisted. Davis holds up one hand. Stop talking. He walks over to Marcus. Chief Williams. Marcus nods. Davis turns to Brennan. His voice drops. Uncuff him now. Sergeant, he was. I said now. Brennan unlocks the cuffs. Click, click. Marcus rubs his wrists, says nothing. Davis picks up the torn registration from the ground. 4 pieces. He looks at Brennan. Who destroyed this silence? Officer Brennan. Who tore this document? I did. Why PMA? He was being uncooperative. Davis closes his eyes, takes a breath. This is a legal vehicle registration. Destroying it is a crime. You understand that? Brennan doesn't answer. Davis turns to Marcus. Chief, I apologize. This should never have happened. Marcus looks at him. You're right. It shouldn't have. He picks up the torn pieces of his registration. I'll be filing a formal complaint on Monday. Officer Brennan violated my civil rights. He assaulted a security guard. Well, he destroyed legal property. I have 14 witnesses, 6 videos, and 2 body cams. Davis nods. Understood. Marcus gets in his car, starts the engine, and drives away. Brennan stands there. He just arrested his own boss. He doesn't know it yet. But his career ended 3 minutes ago. 2 hours later, the first video goes online. The woman from the Facebook live stream downloads her footage. She posts it to Twitter. Caption, cop arrests internal affairs chief in parking garage. Rips up his registration, assaults a security guard. This is why people don't trust police. In 6 hours, it has 50,000 views. By midnight, 200,000. Boom. The next morning, Sunday, 4 more videos surface. Different angles, different phones. One shows the moment Brennan shoved Dennis Shaw. Another captures the sound of the registration being torn. K, 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 R, R, R. A third shows Marcus standing silent, hands cuffed, while a child asks his mother why the police arrested him. The fourth is Officer Kelly's body cam footage. Someone leaked it. By Sunday night, the videos have 800,000 views combined. Monday morning, FBI opens an investigation. Marcus Williams is a federal task force officer. Detaining him without cause is a federal crime. Destroying his credentials, even his vehicle registration, interferes with a federal investigation. Brennan doesn't know this yet. He's at home, watching the videos spread, reading the comments. Fire him. Sue the department. This is why we need reform. His phone rings. It's his lieutenant. Brennan, don't come in today. You're on administrative leave pending investigation. The call ends. No. Tuesday, Internal Affairs opens its own case. Marcus recuses himself, can't investigate his own arrest. But he doesn't need to. The evidence is already documented. 14 cameras, 6 civilian videos, 2 body cams. 73 witnesses came forward. Every single one corroborates Marcus's account. Wednesday, the department reviews Brennan's personnel file. 7 complaints in 18 months. They were never taken seriously. No formal investigations, no discipline, but now someone's looking closer. No. Complaint 1 October 2022. Brennan detained a black nurse leaving the hospital at 11 p.m., accused her of stealing medical supplies. She showed her employee badge. He didn't believe her. Hospital security had to intervene. No discipline. Complaint dismissed as misunderstanding. Complaint 2, January 2023. Brennan stopped a black teenager walking through a residential neighborhood. Demanded ID, searched his backpack without consent, found nothing. The teen's father was a lawyer, filed a complaint, dismissed. Officer was acting on reasonable suspicion. Complaint 3 March 2023. Brennan pulled over a black family in a minivan, claimed they matched the description of a vehicle involved in a robbery. They didn't. Different make, different model, different color. Complaint filed, dismissed. Honest mistake. 4 of the 7 complaints involve people of color. 4 out of 7, That's not random. That's a pattern. Come in. Thursday, the city attorney reviews the case. He watches the videos. He reads the complaints. He does the math. This is going to cost the city millions. Friday, Brennan is summoned to headquarters. He sits across from the deputy chief. Officer Brennan, after reviewing the evidence in your personnel file, we're terminating your employment effective immediately. Brennan stares. You can't do that. I have rights. You violated the civil rights of a ranking officer. You assaulted a security guard. You destroyed legal property. You did all of this in front of 14 cameras. The deputy chief slides a paper across the desk. You're also being stripped of your post certification. You will not be eligible for rehire at any law enforcement agency in this state. Brennan's career is over. Not suspended, not demoted. Over. 8 years of work. Gone. Because he saw a black man and assumed criminal. Because he refused to verify evidence. Because his ego wouldn't let him admit he was wrong. The FBI investigation continues. The civil lawsuit is filed. Marcus Williams versus City Police Department and Officer Kyle Brennan. Section 1983, Civil Rights Violation. The city settles 90 days later. $1.8 million. They don't even fight it. The evidence is too strong. Brennan sits at home. No badge, no gun, no career. He watches the video for the 100th time. KKKRR. The sound of his career ending. He thinks he was protecting the community. He thinks he was doing his job. But what he really did was prove that a badge doesn't make you right. It just makes your mistakes more expensive. $1.8 million. 8 years of service. 90 days. That's what this arrest costs. Officer Brennan lost his career and his certification for life. Do you think that's enough, or should the consequences have been more severe? Drop a comment. I want to know what justice looks like to you. Marcus Williams took the $1.8 million and did something most people wouldn't. He didn't retire. He didn't disappear. He built something. The Williams Accountability Fund, a training program for police departments across 12 states. The curriculum is simple: verify before you act. Evidence over assumption, accountability over ego. 300 officers have gone through the program. Not one has been sued for civil rights violations. Marcus still works for internal affairs, still investigating ops, still holding the line. His son graduated from the academy last year, 26 years old, badge number 7823, patrol officer. His father asked him once, "Why would you join after what happened to me?" His son said, "Because you showed me what the job should be." Kyle Brennan works security at a warehouse now. No badge, no authority, just a uniform and a flashlight. He applied to 3 other police departments. All 3 rejected him. Post-certification revoked. That decision in the parking garage didn't just end his career. It ended every career he could have had. Here's the lesson. Power is not proof. A badge is not evidence. And 14 cameras are always watching, even when you think they're not. Marcus stood silent because he knew the truth would speak louder than he ever could. And it did. If this story matters to you, hit like. If you want more stories about accountability, subscribe. And if you've ever witnessed abuse of power, comment below. Your voice matters. Because the only way the system changes is when people refuse to stay silent.